Hello, everyone. Welcome to Questions Worth Pondering, where we pose questions related to current and historical events. I'm your host, Nevs. Please be sure to give this video a like or a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. I would really appreciate it, and it would help with getting the video out there to more people. Follow me on social media and support my work. All my links are at linktree/NevsTV. If you're joining on Rumble, a Rumble rant would be greatly appreciated, and I want to sincerely thank everyone who has supported my work so far. Now, let's get the show on the road, shall we?
It's a great honor to have Prime Minister Starmer in the Oval Office. It's a very special place, and he's a special man. And the United Kingdom is a wonderful. This is a wonderful country that I know very well. I'm there a lot, and I'll be going there, and we expect to see each other in the near future. We'll be announcing it, but. We're going to be discussing many things today. We'll be discussing Russia-Ukraine. We'll be discussing trade and lots of other items. And I think we can say that we're going to be getting along on every one of them. We've had a tremendous relationship. And frankly, the Prime Minister and I have met twice before, and we get along very famously, as you would say. And I look forward to it very much. We look forward to the day and the meeting. We'll be having a luncheon after this, and then another work session, and I believe we're going to have a press conference at the end. So I look forward to it. And Mr. Prime Minister, thank you very much.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Questions Worth Pondering. In case you're just joining us for the first time, I'm your host, Nevs, and today's agenda, we've got UK Starmer. That's why I played that as the intro video. Epstein files, the files that were not released. We're going to talk about Gene Hackman and that strange death. A little bit about the CIA and how they're reacting to what's going on with Doge and all of the exposure. And we're going to talk a little bit about the Washington Post. And we've got, who do I see so far that's giving comments? Please throw comments, no matter where you are. If you're on X, if you're on YouTube, if you're on Rumble. Most of our folks go into Rumble, but I see In God We Trust and Black Robed Regiment. Yeah. Oh, Natalie. Yes, Natalie. Sorry. And Black Robed Regiment, remind me who you are on Telegram because I don't remember. Anyway, welcome, guys. Let's go ahead and just jump right into Starmer. Got a lot of stuff on Starmer. He went and visited with President Trump today. He is a dictator, guys. I mean, if if you've ever seen one, he is crazy. So now to see him cozying up to Trump cracks me up. So with that, let's just look at what J.D. Vance said to him. Let me get myself out of here, and we will.
At the Munich Security Conference, Vice President Vance condemned free speech violations in the UK. Particularly, could you respond? What is your message?
I have an idea. We have the man right here. Come on. Let's go, JD. We're putting you on stage.
Great. Yeah, look, I said what I said, which is that we do have, of course, a special relationship with our friends in the UK and also with some of our European allies. But we also know that there have been infringements on free speech that actually affect not just the British. Of course, what the British do in their own country is up to them, but also affect American technology companies and by extension American citizens. So that is something that we'll talk about today at lunch.
We've had free speech for a very, very long time in the United Kingdom, and it will last for a very, very long time. Well, no, I mean, certainly we wouldn't want to reach across US citizens, and we don't, and that's absolutely right. But in relation to free speech in the UK, I'm very proud of our history there.
Really? Oh, is that so? So let's just talk about the what JD is talking about in case you missed it. I'm going to go ahead and pull some of that up. Oh, shoot, I didn't have my bookmarks ready. You know, I'm super professional here, guys. Let me go ahead and get my bookmarks up. Sorry about that. All right, so the little stinker is, he's just a stinker here. So here's what happened. Apple dropped their encryption feature for the UK. And what they do is they encrypt your information so that you can have everything be private. And but the UK government, what they wanted to be able to do is have backdoor access. They demanded it. And Apple decided to bend to the knee to them. And it's interesting because there's been some development since that came about. And it was, I don't know if it was Pam Bondi, trying to think. Maybe. But Pam Bondi, I think it was Pam Bondi, they are going to look into whether or not this is even legal. So there is a there's a treaty that we have, and what's it called? I meant to highlight this. I ran out of time. Okay. Usually I have this highlighted so I can jump to what I want to jump to. So there's a Cloud Act, and it bars other countries from issuing demands of data of U.S. citizens and vice versa. So the thing of it is if they end up blocking the privacy of U.S. citizens in the UK, because I'm sure there has to be a lot in the UK, then they could be breaking that treaty. So it sounds like he and JD had a conversation. And if you guys heard any updates from that conversation, let me know in chat and I will pull that up. Hey, Deplorable Mike. It's good to see you. It's great to see you. Yeah, JD was a classic in calling down the free speech thing. That's right. He was. That was pretty epic. I have another video for Starmer. Let me just see what this video is. But I just want to show you how much he hated Trump. I've got a little TikTok video I'm going to show you guys. But I want to see what this video is first that I queued up.
Thank you. Mr. President, did our Prime Minister persuade you not to put tariffs on the UK? And if I may, Prime Minister, do you think that Vladimir Putin is a man who will keep his word? Thanks.
He tried. He was working hard, I'll tell you that. He earned whatever the hell they pay him over there. but he tried. I think there's a very good chance that in the case of these two great.
I think that's all I really wanted to show is that Trump was saying, oh, he tried. Yeah, he's really kissing up to Trump. But let's not forget what Starmer said about Trump in the past. So don't anybody be fooled by his little kissing the tushy of Trump.
I want Donald Trump round for dinner, but don't underestimate the danger to the world if Trump is re-elected this time around. I'm anti-Trump.
He's anti-Trump and called Trump dangerous. Not only him, but all of ministers have said crazy things about Trump, including that he's just a Nazi and a fascist and all of that. So we need to keep people informed of that. You guys create some memes. Hey, we've got Meme Wars this Saturday. We have a surprise guest for Meme Wars on Saturday. It might be somebody you don't know, but she is a character, and I think you're gonna love her because Herbie, my co-host Herbie, has to work that day, and we're gonna miss Herbie. But I think you're gonna love our sit-in co-host. But if you guys want to, I think we need some memes on Starmer. That's what we need. And submit them for Meme Wars on Saturday. Okay. I didn't want to spend too much time on the UK stuff and that whole visit and all of that. But so we'll go ahead and move on to our next topic, which is the non-Epstein files release. And I know a lot of people are disappointed. And so before I bring up any media, I know a lot of people were disappointed. But I do want to say that we have to be patient. There are so many moving parts right now. Trump has only been in office for 5 weeks, if you can believe it. And I know everybody's like, just release him, just release him, just release him. I do have a question, though. So Pam Bondi had put out today that, I think MTG posted a letter that Pam Bondi put out to Kash Patel, talking about how they just discovered yesterday that there were more files that the FBI did not turn over, that they had only turned over 200 pages. And but they had, I think, thousands more that they didn't turn over, and they discovered that yesterday. And it was a surprise to Pam and a surprise to Kash and Pam. I'll pull up the letter in just a minute. But the thing of it is, the question I have for Pam Bondi is, when you received 200 pages on the Epstein files, which we've been talking about for years. So not only is there all this information on who his associates were, there was a huge investigation, a criminal case. Ghislaine is in prison, and a lot of stuff on her. There's, the FBI raided his home. So how could you not question only 200 pages? That's my question to Pam Bondi. And I love this whole administration, but I think we need to hold them accountable and ask them the tough questions. So that's my question for her. So, and I know, I know a lot of people are upset and they're comparing it to this. I don't know if you guys are old enough to remember this, but let's go ahead and watch Geraldo. No, oh, whoops, I pulled up the wrong thing. Where's my Geraldo video? Oh, shoot, hang on. Sorry, guys. Oh, I should have been more here. Here it is.
Scarface Al Capone may have built it, and nobody knows what's in it. Some say money. Some say bodies. some say it's booby-trapped, and we're going to open it. What secret lies inside? It may be Scarface Al Capone's biggest secret, and we'll open it on live television. Step inside the vault with me on April 21st.
Uncover the mystery of Al Capone's vaults. Join host Geraldo Rivera Monday, April 21st, exclusively on Channel 46.
Oh, do you remember that, guys? Do you remember the Geraldo file, or the Geraldo opening the vault, and it was empty, so it was a big letdown, and everybody was all excited about it. All right. Let's continue with the Epstein stuff here. I've got a lot of stuff to do. Okay, I think I'll start with Marsha, maybe. Marsha Blackburn. Yeah, let's start with her.
On this. She has worked diligently on this, and so appreciative that we can begin to get this information, that we can begin to break apart what became a global human trafficking, sex trafficking ring, about $150 billion a year business. It is time to get some justice for these victims, for these women and children, and this will be a phase 1 release. There will be more to come.
Yeah, it will be in phases. And Marsha, bless her heart, she has been fighting to get Epstein files released for years. She brings it up in hearing committees constantly, and she's just a true patriot. So thank you, Marsha. But MTG put out a statement here that the Epstein list is going to be released and much more is coming. There is currently a war raging within. The resistance within will be beaten and the truth will be revealed. And she's so proud of Pam Bondi and Cash, both warriors. Don't believe anyone who tries to sow discord or doubt, even some members of Congress and those you think are on our side. The information will be released directly to the people. So she's putting out there, I think seeing some of the discouragement and some of the rumors going around, and people are putting fake links out there that this old stuff that was already on the FBI's website was the release, and it wasn't. If you guys happen to see that. But she followed up with the letter. So I'll go ahead and show it to you guys. If you happen to not see it, I don't think I posted it today. But she said before Cash was confirmed, the FBI had refused to hand over all the Epstein files. And Pam Bondi requested the rest of the files from Cash, and they'll be delivered tomorrow on Pam's desk. And I don't know if there's much more. She's releasing it today, everything she currently has, which I didn't see it yet. So I'm going to open this image in a new window and get the full image up so I can show you guys better. And I will share with you what Pam Bondi said. So today she sent a letter to Cash. Before you came into office, I requested the full and complete files related to Jeffrey Epstein. In response to this report, I received approximately 200 pages of documentation, which consisted primarily of flight logs, Epstein's list of contacts, and a list of victims' names and phone numbers. So that's what she received. She received what is probably already out there. I repeatedly questioned whether this was the full set of documents responsive to my request. Okay, that answers my question, because I'm like, did you not ask like 200? Even if she questioned it, like she should have pushed back and said, there's more. This cannot be all the Epstein files. But anyway, let's continue. She did the request and was repeatedly assured by the FBI that we had received the full set of documents. Later yesterday, so just yesterday, I learned from a source that the FBI field office in New York was in possession of thousands of pages of documents related to the investigation and indictment of Epstein. Despite my repeated requests, the FBI never disclosed the existence of these files. When you and I spoke yesterday, you were just as surprised as I was to learn this new information. So Cash was surprised too. By 8 a.m. tomorrow, February 28th, the FBI will deliver the full and complete Epstein files to my office, including all records, documents, audio and video, and materials. I don't think they'll release a video. I don't know. What do you guys think? I don't think they'll release the video. Related to Jeffrey Epstein and his clients, regardless of how such information was obtained. There will be no withholdings or limitations to my or your access. The Department of Justice will ensure that any public disclosure of these files will be done in a manner to protect the privacy of victims and in accordance with the law. And I have done my entire career as a prosecutor. I'm also directing you to, this is what I really like, conduct an immediate investigation into why my order to the FBI was not followed. We need accountability. We need these people gone, and that should be illegal. Your boss's boss is ordering something and you refuse to give it. That's not even like another department asking. You will deliver me a comprehensive report of your findings and proposed personnel action within 14 days. No more of this 90-day stuff, 90-day investigations. Like, she wants the information now. Anyway, so then there's just a closing. So I thought that was really good. And let's see, I did MTG. And a question that our friend Abs posted. He said, there is a very purposeful carnival being put on right now. Ferris wheel, a merry-go-round, roller coasters, funnel cake, the works. Clever. That's clever, Abs. So what's going on in the background that we don't see? And that's a really good question. Like, there's stuff that we can't see. We're not privy to any of that. So, yes. Okay. So let me show this. In God We Trust says, the whole binder thing caused an unnecessary dilemma within MAGA. Patience, we've waited this long. We can wait for Bondi and Cash to work it all out. Trust in God alone. That's right. That's right. Absolutely. But there is stuff going on in the background that we're not aware of. And this Betsy, I replied to this Betsy gal. She said, I had a little tantrum and then I came to the exact same conclusion. And I said, I was glad she recovered. Glad you recovered, Betsy, if you happen to be watching. Anyway, that's a good question worth pondering, right? So, all right. And Stormy, I'm not sure I'm going to show that yet. I don't know if that's Epstein related. Okay. The other thing that happened, and Deneen, who, oh no, where did it go? It's gone. It wasn't gone. Okay. I have to pull this up, you guys. They finally deleted it. And I just want to see. Okay. It was finally deleted, guys. All right. I have to save my picture and then I have to pull it up on StreamYard here so I can show you what was up there. So let me grab an image file here. Here it is. All right, so this was up. And the House Judiciary, sorry, I'm like not speaking right tonight. they had this breaking Epstein files released with a tiny URL, and the URL. So here's a community notes that were going out. The link in this post does not direct you to any files related to Epstein. It directs you to a YouTube video of Rick Astley song "Never Gonna Give You Up." So yeah, they were rickrolling everybody, and people were pissed off. I was kind of too, because yes, that's funny when things are rickrolled sometimes. But I mentioned Elon Musk, and I said, was the GOP judiciary hacked? So I wonder what happened there, because I'm like, I don't think the GOP judiciary would put that up. There's either, I said one of two things. There's either someone infiltrating that has access to the GOP judiciary X account, someone within, and they think they're being cutesy and wanting us to look bad. Because guess what happened when this was posted? The Dems hopped right on it and said, oh, Republicans don't care. They're laughing about the whole Epstein file when the whole Epstein saga is about pedophilia and human trafficking. So they were like trying to get the narrative on that. And that's what I think actually happened. I don't think they were hacked. Or they were hacked by some on the left that probably paid a hacker. Just my opinion. Love to know you guys' thoughts. And if you saw this, Deneen, though, what I was going to say was Deneen kept giving us updates. It's still up. It's still up 3 hours later, 6 hours later. So anyway, that was that. And I got to get back to my browser here. Oh, the influencers. Okay, so let's just talk about the influencers. So we saw them walking out the door and holding up these binders that says the Epstein files, phase 1. And we were all pissed because it's like, why would they release information to a select few influencers and not just let us grab it and go through it and analyze it and talk about it and expose stuff, instead of a select few. So that's what we were talking about earlier. And I get it. If you guys recall, when the Twitter files came out, that's what happened too. There was so much information, but the Twitter files is different because Twitter couldn't just take their database and hand it over to everybody. Literally, these journalists that they picked to do specific Twitter files, they had to go to Twitter. They did not have access outside of Twitter, and they were allowed to search the database to find information. And that's how the Twitter files were created. This is different, though. This is, here's some information. So why give them a binder? People are asking, why didn't they just give them a thumb drive, and why give them a binder? Well, obviously, it was for this photo op. And I said, well, I kind of would want it in physical form too, to highlight and stuff. But here's the interesting thing, that is, I have a question. Were they given a narrative and talking points to spew to everyone after they left? I think so. And I have to give Pepe Deluxe kudos for this, because he posted it and on Telegram. But let's just look at two of these influencers and what they posted. So let's start with DC Drano. Today, I met with President Trump, VP J.D. Vance, AG Pam Bondi, and FBI Director Kash Patel in the Oval Office. They handed me a binder copy of the Epstein files. This is the most transparent administration in American history. The best part? This is just the start. AG Bondi confirmed there are thousands more Epstein file documents being secretly held in the South District of New York, and they will be delivered to DOJ in DC by February 28th. People will be going to jail for what they have done. So this is the statement from DC Drano. Then Chad Prather also put a statement out. And let's see what he put out. Today, I met with President Trump, VP J.D. Vance, AG Pam Bondi, and FBI Director Kash Patel in the Oval Office. The exact same statement as DC Drano. I left with an interesting souvenir, so he reworded it a little bit. The Trump DOJ has everything, the most transparent administration in history. DC Drano said that exact phrase, the most transparent administration in history. Pam Bondi confirmed there are thousands of files still held in the South District of New York and will be delivered to the DOJ by February 28th. DC Drano also said that. So my question is, what are you guys doing? Why would you send out talking points with these influencers? And hey, influencers, hey, DC Drano, hey, Chad Prather, don't try to fool us or put the wool over our eyes. Why don't you just speak your actual analysis and thoughts on your experience when you went to the White House today? This just really irked me, and I think it's irking other people, and we don't need to start getting divided. We need to be united. We need to work together. We need to be trusted. All of us who are not, like, I'm not super popular. I don't have a ton of followers, all of us, we need to be trusted with the information. So, whatever's in those binders, Pam Bondi, please just send it out to all of us and let us go at it, because we have some pretty talented people in the community. And, I think one of the statements I heard today, and I don't remember who it was from, was have Doge do the release. Because, boy, they've got some talented people looking at data that's coming in and information and documents. And but you know what? There's a lot of people out in the community, a lot of Anons who are super smart, great researchers. We can do it too. We can give our analysis. We can find things to give our opinion on. But yeah, this just really got to me. I don't know if you guys saw this, if you noticed it. It was really annoying. So I'm going to move on. But Kash did give a statement today, and he said the FBI is entering a new era. And this, I think, is in response to the Epstein files. One that will be defined by integrity, accountability, and the unwavering pursuit of justice. There will be no cover-ups, no missing documents, and no stone left unturned. And anyone from the prior or current Bureau who undermines this will be swiftly pursued. If there are gaps, we will find them. If records have been hidden, we will uncover them. And we will bring everything we find to the DOJ to be fully assessed and transparently disseminated to the American people as it should be. The oath we take is to the Constitution and undermine leadership. That promise will be upheld without compromise. I think he needed to put this statement out today. I think it was really good statement. And I'm super happy that he put this out. Notice he says former or current. That undermines this. Well, speaking of undermining, let me see if I got through everything else with Epstein first. I did. Okay, speaking of undermining, this is not related to Epstein, but I'm bringing it up anyway because I think it's related to Deplorable Mike. Says the release of an Epstein client list should be immediate arrests. Yeah, well, I mean, they have to follow whatever process is in place. But yes, I agree. Okay, but it's related to undermining. So it's not related to Epstein, but it's related to undermining, and it's. Oh, maybe I'm going to go to CIA first, actually, because it's a good segue into that. So, so I'm going to skip the one agenda item, Gene Hackman. I'm just going to go to the CIA because this is a very quick little blurb. CIA and the FBI. The libs of TikTok posted this today, and I am going to play the video, but I just want to read what they had said. The CIA is telling CNN if their funding gets cut, then they will sell state secrets to Russia. A source inside the FBI says the FBI is destroying evidence. They really I know we can't see what's going on in the background, kind of like what Ab said. But I think, because I saw a comment about why is there no sense of urgency? I think there is a sense of urgency. I think they're on this stuff. But let's go ahead and listen to Jesse.
But Intel doesn't like being told what to do. When they saw Musk with the chainsaw doging foreign aid, they started leaking to CNN. If you doge us, there will be consequences. On the CIA's 7th floor, home to top leadership, some officers are also quietly discussing how mass firings and the buyouts already offered to staff risk creating a group of disgruntled former employees who might be motivated to take what they know to a foreign intelligence service. The CIA is telling CNN that if their funding gets cut, they're going to sell state secrets to Russia. Who the hell hired these Benedict Arnolds? The CIA is supposed to be filled with patriots, not sellouts. And the FBI is up to no good, too. Michael Schellenberger is reporting a source inside the FBI says the Bureau is destroying evidence. Now we know what their accomplishments were last week. Dear Elon, I wiped the servers cleaner than crooked.
Yeah. So destroying of evidence. The thing that gets me about that whole comment about the CIA, that they might be motivated to tell foreign agents what they know. Let's remind them that's treason. There are severe punishments for that kind of stuff. I hope they find out who is speaking this way, who could be motivated to do something of that sort. And the FBI is destroying evidence because of January 6th and all of their investigations that they had related to January 6th. So more to come on that. I really want to start seeing some accountability. I know you all do too. That's really all I had on the CIA, but I wanted to add it as an agenda item so y'all knew that I was going to talk about it. So I do want to bring up Stormy Patriot Joe. I didn't know if he posted this on X. Oh, this is related to Gene Hackman. So why did I put it under that? Okay. I guess we're moving on to Gene Hackman, guys. All right. So really crazy. So TMZ released the audio of the 911 call. And this was from the person at the apartment. I don't know if he was in an apartment, but a leasing person or apartment maintenance person that discovered their bodies. This is the strangest thing. So Gene Hackman found dead today, and his wife found dead, and one of their dogs, but two of their dogs were actually found alive. So at first we were all like, this morning, everyone, including myself, because I'm like, oh, well, if he was found dead and she was laying on the kitchen floor and the dog was laying, like, did they have carbon monoxide? It was just a question. And it came out today that no, they're doing an investigation to see what was going on there. So I guess they had 3 dogs. One of them was found inside, next to Gene Hackman's wife's body, and the other one was found. I don't know. They said it was let loose or it got away or something. I have no idea. I don't know how dogs survive for 2 weeks though, inside a house. Really sad story. Do I play the call or not? Maybe not. Maybe I don't need to. But so it was reported that the death suddenly later, it was reported that it was suspicious. So Gene Hackman and his wife's death called suspicious. And they got a search warrant. And there was no signs of gas leak. They even had the gas company come out and make sure. And so they're going to do a thorough investigation. But what's crazy about all of this, because the Daily Mail said they were found mummified. So I have a question on that. Like, what does that mean they were found mummified? Like, does that mean that they were just decomposed so much that their bodies were like, I don't know, looked like they were being preserved or something? Or did they literally have wrapping around them? Partially mummified. What the heck does that mean? If you guys know or you heard anything more about that, let me know. I also heard that they owned some island off of the state of Washington's coast. So I don't know what's up with that, but I'm going to bring Stormy's post up now because he does talk about how he's been looking into it. And here's him and his wife. So he was in his 90s. I hadn't seen a picture of him for a long time. So let's pull up Stormy because Stormy has a take on this, a little bit of a take. He's going to have more on his show. But let's see what Stormy says here. He says, I can't point to any direct connections between Gene Hackman and Jeffrey Epstein, but I can and should look into some of the data points. Gene Hackman was a very connected person in Hollywood. That's true. ABC News is reporting no foul play. However, calls the death of Gene, his wife, and one of the dogs suspicious. And reports are they died of carbon monoxide, but it turned out later that the police were saying no, that they're opening an investigation. He owned very private islands, so I did see that. I had heard that he owned private islands, but I think he sold them or sold one of them recently. Gene Hackman's house. So this is the interesting part. Gene Hackman's house, where this happened in Santa Fe, New Mexico, was 39 miles from Epstein's Zorro Ranch. Zorro Ranch is where Epstein took interest in eugenics and transhumanism. So he's going to have more on his show tomorrow. Let's all watch it. I just think it's the craziest thing. I don't think I need to go on and on and on about Gene Hackman. So let's go ahead and actually, I have an agenda item that I did not call out in my agenda here. So I'm just going to go to that first. This is kind of interesting. I wonder what's going on there. It's related to the Federal Aviation Administration. So Mario, I should get to like the original post first and then show you Elon's response because So Elon posted that the Verizon system is not working, and so is putting air travelers at serious risk. Apparently, Verizon must be what the FAA uses for communications. Um, and then External Links said the FAA's aging air traffic control system exposed by a 2023 national airspace shutdown are high risk, with 51 of 138 systems unsustainable, including 17 critical ones over 30 years old. How can they have systems that are over 30 years old? You would think the FAA, of all places, would have the most modern, and whenever new technology is available, that they would upgrade. Risks here, I got to do the show more here. Risks include outages, disrupting air travel, endangering safety, and causing economic losses worsened by the failing $2 billion Verizon system from 2023. Modernization delays, with some projects unfinished for a decade, heighten failure risks amid 6.2% annual air traffic growth. Do you remember? I think it was last week where we talked about, what was it? What systems were we talking about that were so outdated? Oh, I can't remember. Shoot. If you guys remember, throw it in chat. The mummification, desiccated, dried like California raisins. Thank you, Black Robe Regiment. Okay, so that's what it meant. They weren't literally mummified. Okay. So, yeah. Oh, I'm racking my brain. Well, I'll think of that. But anyway, Elon Musk confirmed, and he said, yeah, thanks for confirming, bro. And anyway, we'll go back. So now I'm going to go back to the follow-up posts. So Elon, when he said the Verizon system isn't working and so is putting air travelers at serious risk, was in response to a post about Elon Musk seeking to deploy Starlink satellites to upgrade the IT networks of the FAA. So they already sent 4,000 Starlink terminals to the FAA as of last week. This is reportedly in addition to Verizon, who had a $2 billion contract awarded in 2023 for upgrade work and that was based off of Bloomberg. So this is super interesting. Elon to the rescue again. I mean, what's going on? So the Democrats then were complaining that Elon Musk is getting preferential treatment for his contracts. So let me show you what Elon said about that. He's not. So I'll just read Mario first, sorry. And then I'll get back to Elon's response to that. The FAA is on the verge of canceling their contract and handing it to Starlink, a move that would bring faster, safer, and more reliable air traffic control services. And guess who's furious? The establishment. They're shrieking about conflicts of interest because Trump and Elon are putting efficiency over corruption. So then he talks about Verizon system, which we already went over. The real conflict of interest is how the old system still exists. The same grifters who let U.S. infrastructure rot now cry foul when someone actually fixes it. So now let's look at Elon's response to this. To be clear, the Verizon communication system to air traffic control is breaking down very rapidly. The FAA assessment is single-digit months to catastrophic failure. Single-digit months, putting air traveler safety at serious risk. The Starlink terminals are being sent at no cost to the taxpayer on an emergency basis to restore air traffic control connectivity. He's not charging for it. Can you believe that? He is not charging for it. This is pretty awesome. I just kind of came across this right before the show. That's why I didn't have it on the agenda. But guess what? So let's laugh a little bit about this because Keith Olbermann is stupid. Keith Olbermann. Yes, Keith Olbermann. He says, he's responding to Elon Musk saying there's a shortage of top-notch air traffic controllers. If you have retired but are open to returning to work, please consider doing so. Keith Olbermann, that's because you fired them, you dumb stoned MFer. But Keith Olbermann's so dumb. They didn't fire any air traffic controllers at all. So Elon Musk is putting a call out, by the way. So if you guys know anybody who was an air traffic controller, let them know that they are needed. They're asking people to come out of retirement if possible. So anyway, Keith Olbermann, what just a silly boy. Okay. So we're just going to go on to our next agenda item. And if I get with it here. All right. This is our last one, guys. So we're almost finished here. We're just going to talk about the Washington Post for a second because big news came out from Jeff Bezos. And I was like, I'm a little sus of this, but let's see. Let's see what happens because I'll be open-minded. Let's just say that. So Jeff says, I shared this note with Washington Post team this morning. I'm writing to let you know about a change coming to our opinion pages. We're going to be writing every day in support and defense of two pillars, personal liberty and free markets. Yes, you heard that right. Are you kidding me? This is Washington Post, guys. We'll cover other topics too, of course, but viewpoints opposing those pillars will be left to be published by others. There was a time when a newspaper, especially one that was a local monopoly, might have seen it as a service to bring to the reader's doorstep every morning a broad-based opinion section that sought to cover all views. Today, the internet does that job. So he's pretty much admitting that we are the news now. We are the news now, guys. That's right. We're the news now. So, they are trying to adjust to the reality of today, maybe. I don't know, but I have more commentary after I read this. Okay. I am of America and for America, and proud to be so. Our country did not get here by being typical. And a big part of America's success has been freedom in the economic realm and everywhere else. Freedom is ethical. It minimizes coercion and practical. It drives creativity, invention, and prosperity. I offered David Shipley, whom I greatly admire, the opportunity to lead this new chapter. I suggested to him that if the answer wasn't hell yes, then it had to be no. So after careful consideration, David decided to step away. So David, I have a question for you. What's wrong with personal liberties and free markets? What do you have against that? David? Just kind of curious about that, David. What do you have against that, David? Okay. All right. This is a significant shift. It won't be easy and it will require 100% commitment. I respect his decision. We'll be searching for a new opinion editor to own this new direction. Hey, Jeff Bezos, why don't you hire me? I'm actually open for work right now. Why don't you hire me? I don't think he'll respond to me. Okay, I'm confident that free markets and personal liberties are right for America. I also believe these viewpoints are undeserved in the current market of ideas, or underserved, of ideas and news opinion. I'm excited for us to gather to fill that void. So he sent that to all his staff. I'm very sus. Think about the Washington Post. Just think about what they have been doing for at least 8 years, if not longer, maybe. So let's look at the past. Let's look at mainstream media past. So this Joshua Stileman, these are encouraging words about personal liberty, but even more powerful would be acknowledging that Washington Post actively undermined those same freedoms during COVID with headlines like this. All right, let's pull up his picture. So we've got headlines. I'm furious about the unvaccinated. So that was the New York Times, not Washington Post. But the Los Angeles Times column, mocking anti-vaxxers, COVID deaths is coolish, yes, but maybe necessary. These are headlines from during COVID, guys. Okay, here's a WAPO one, the opinion. Remaining unvaccinated in public should be considered as bad as drunk driving. This is what mainstream media was putting out to the public during COVID. U.S. COVID deaths are rising again. Experts call it a pandemic of the unvaccinated. And what are we hearing today now? That's right. We've got that Yale study that came out showing how dangerous the vaccine could potentially be. So anyway, I'll keep my mind open, but I'm highly sus, and I'll tell you why, because, whoopsie. What did I do? Okay, I'm on my feed. Hang on. What did I do? Forgive me. All right. Okay, so the thing of it is, even though he says these beautiful words, last year, Carrie and I did a show, and I think maybe Moxie was on that show too, about how the left changes definitions. And so I'm curious how he defines personal liberties and free markets. Maybe he defines it differently than the average person does. Let's find out. We'll find out. So I'll stay open-minded, though. You know, I do believe that things are changing, and people and mainstream media are all sort of going to be forced to change. Hopefully the mockingbird stuff can be shut down completely, so no government influence happens at all with any media outlet. And this is why I'm kind of disappointed with the influencers going to the White House today. I don't think it should have happened. You know, I don't care what side of the aisle you're on. I just don't think, like, if you're going to be an independent journalist, then don't get talking points fed to you from the government, even if they're good talking points. You know what I'm saying? Even if they're on our side, just don't do it. You know, come up with your own talking points. Think for yourself. Okay, Black Robed Regiment says, I was forced out of my healthcare career because of Satan soup jab mandate. Yeah, it's so sad. You know, a lot of people were, you know. By the way, if you're on YouTube or X, because I see people on there, if you make a comment, I'll see it and I can show your comments. But all right, the last thing about WAPO is, what is this? I've got WAPOs. Oh, they've got phobia words. Phobia words? I don't remember what this was. This was somebody who replied. Oh, okay. This was some data that represented how many times it's not woke words, it was phobia words, were used in the past few decades from New York Times and Washington Post. This is really interesting. I love data. I love visual. When you can see something visually, you can see it quick, and it can tell a huge story with just looking at a picture. I don't know if you guys can see this very well. I think what I'm going to do is open the image by itself instead of in X, so I can zoom in. So let me do that quick. Here we go. That's a little bit bigger. Okay, so these are some of the words like homophobia, homophobic, anti-gay, anti-Semitism. These are words used by mainstream media. Islamophobic. So you get the idea. There are a bunch of the woke words, white supremacy, racists. And what they did was they pulled the data for how many times this word was mentioned in their articles. And this is super interesting because it goes skyrocketing up as soon as Trump was elected president for the first time. So these jumps you see are 2016. The gray bar you see is 2016 through 2020. So these terms suddenly jumped up. So you can see that it's propaganda. I mean, this is just shows a picture of propaganda. And anyway, so this was a response to Bezos' post because Washington Post. This is Washington Post and New York Times. So it's those two outlets. Anyway, I found that fascinating. I'm kind of nerdy that way. I don't know if you guys find that kind of stuff fascinating. But I do. All right. So that pretty much concludes the agenda. I do want to ask you guys, okay, I have a couple of announcements. First, Meme Wars is on Saturday morning at 9 a.m. Eastern time. We're going to have coffee and we are going to rate memes. And the surprise co-host guest. And then I'm not sure if Monday I might be live streaming from 10 a.m. Eastern time until 3:30 p.m. Eastern time. I will follow up and let you guys know, but there's an election integrity event coming up that I might be live streaming. So stay tuned for that. I will post on X and I will post on Telegram and True Social as to whether or not we'll be doing a longer live stream on Monday. And then we'll be back next Thursday. There's a lot of things moving, so I'm not going to schedule like a deep dive research show. Instead, we'll either do current events if there's a lot going on, or I will do a surprise research deep dive show for you guys. So thank you for joining. Be sure to like the video because that will make it show up for other people. And I hope you enjoyed the program too. Subscribe to me if you're not. Follow me on X if you're not, at Nevs TV. As a matter of fact, if you want to know how to follow me, I've got all my links in one place. You can go to Linktree. Here it is. Linktree/Nevs TV. And all my links are there. Oh, and I need to give a shout out to the Department of Winning. If you go to DEPT of Winning, I'm a contributor for the Department of Winning. And there's a bunch of us friends that post there. We post things about all the wins, plus fun stuff, things to make you laugh, encouragement. That's what we're all about. And we have spaces that we're doing and other things. So I might even move Meme Wars over there. We'll see. So we're talking about that kind of stuff. And I hope you guys have a wonderful evening. Thank you for watching. And we'll see you on Saturday. I'm excited for Saturday's Meme Wars. It's going to be so much fun. All right. Have a good night, guys.
I can see clear.